I'll be doing the introductions, also emceeing kind of our speaking list today. My name is Gilbert, last name Ramirez. I am the Director of Health, Housing, and Homelessness. Welcome everyone today. Thank you for being here. So sound is good. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Gilbert Ramirez. I am the Director of Health, Housing, and Homelessness. Very excited today to announce that we have more than a little of our three-phase project cut into very fast, expedient timeline to announce our first batch of rooms available for leasing and tenants to move in by June. So with that, we have a lineup of individuals to talk about this project. Little history on this one. We acquired this facility April of 23, and just over a year, we've already turned it around and we have available units for people to move in, really focusing on affordable housing access and having more units. We couldn't be prouder of this project and the timeline that it went and the partners who are all part of it, including the counselors who supported it and of course the counselor district that it's in. So with that being said, our first speaker tonight is going to be the Mayor, Tim Keller, to address you folks. Mayor.
All right, thanks. All right, everybody, thanks so much for being here. This is I think, an important occasion on a number of fronts. And first and foremost, this is the first time the city has ever done this. And I mean that generically as the city and so forth. It's also the first time our team's ever done this. But the point is, we told our community that we need more housing. And we said that we all have to do our part, and we passed this zoning changes and all these wonderful policies. And we said that everyone's got to kind of own a piece of a 20,000 unit housing shortage. And so this is a small piece, but it's the part that the city said we would own. We said, we'll deliver on this. We need the private sector and others to deliver on other units and casitas and things like this. So this is we're doing our part. And we said, here's how we can do it with the best use of taxpayer money and as fast as we can. And the idea was, we don't have time in our city to deal with our challenges like 10 years out. We need help, in a matter of months or just a couple of years, not 10 years from now. That's what this project represents. So it was just 2 years ago when this was the Sure Stay Inn. And it was a decently managed facility, but also part of a challenged area where we've had a lot of issues around crime and around the unhoused and around trafficking. And we said, you know what, why don't we take some of these hotels that are in need, let's fix them up, and let's make them safe housing where people can get services, and show right here that we can do this better in the city of Albuquerque. And so now, finally, in June, in July, we are opening up almost 100 units. I think it's 90 in total. And we're starting with the first batch of 50. And we're actually going to walk the walk on that promise that we made to our community. Now, a lot of people helped make this happen, from our city councilors who funded it, to our state legislators who funded it. I think even the governor has a piece of money in this. And also, of course, the actual construction workers who work on this, and Monarch who runs this. And so they're all piece of that one Albuquerque picture to make this happen. So I do want to recognize Bruce Martin. Give us a wave. Folks who are the construction team. And SWPC, it was our first time doing this, so the architects, I know, plumbing and all this kind of stuff can be tough, so both those folks have worked hard to try and get this done and also demonstrate that we can do this again. So yes, we absolutely want to do this at other hotels in our city and in other locations around the city. And so for us, rents here are going to be between $700 and $900, we hope. That's going to make it definitely much more affordable than market rate. We're going to have 39 efficiencies, 7 studios, 3 one-bedrooms. In total, there's going to be 104 hotel rooms that were converted. And again, we have a great management company, Monarch, who's here. Hand wave for the folks who part of the management company. Yeah, they have done a great job. And again, a public-private partnership. The city does not and should not run these facilities. Like, that was never what we were designed to do. We're designed to set it up for professionals. And so we're grateful to have those professionals here with us today. So these are high-quality investments, and they're paired with a massive investment in Los Altos. So I know neighbors and community members have said for decades, this area needs some love. And it's getting it, to the tune of almost $10 to $20 million worth of investment between this facility for housing but also an amazingly new, revamped, generationally changed Los Altos Park that's even getting better with a BMX pump track. And so for myself, I used to go to school in this area and play Little League out here, and I shop at this Target. These are just much needed investments in this community that says we are building this part of East Central. And so with more on this, we'll hand it back over to Gilbert. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for that summary on this project. So, of course, Mayor mentioned this wouldn't be possible without working side by side with council, and more importantly, the district that this sits in. And so, very proud to announce our next speaker, Councilor Renee Grout, in the district in which this project did sit and with the support. So, Councilor Grout.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here today. I can't believe that we're finally at opening this project today. I want to thank the architect Dale Lusk at SMPC. Thank you. And our contractor, Bruce. I know Mayor already mentioned that they are a wonderful crew. I got an opportunity to check it out while they were in progress. And I know that they have, this is a project that we can really be proud of. It's made of high quality and everything that I would want in my own home. And I want to thank Triple H Director Gilbert Ramirez and Joseph Montoya, our Deputy Director of Housing, for patiently answering my questions throughout this development process. There's no doubt about the need for more affordable housing options, but I wasn't a fan of motel conversions when we first started talking about it 2 years. And I'll give you a little back history. There was a private motel in this district that was converted, and it was poorly done, and it contributed to blight in our neighborhood. And so a lot of the constituents around here were very concerned about it. But I know throughout this process of talking to staff planners and seeing how conversions can benefit a neighborhood when they're done right, I've come around. And Los Altos Lofts has been very nicely done. This is a high quality, affordable housing unit and something we need more of. There is a real need for more housing in all sectors and a wider variety of options for our service members that are close to us here at Kirtland Air Force Base. They have 23,000 civilians and contractors that work on the base. They have 3,000 military personnel and only 1,100 housing units on base. And about half of those will go when Maxwell Housing closes in 2029. So I want high quality, affordable options for them so those young men and women will have a place close to work so they don't have to travel so far away. People who live at Los Altos Lofts will have to sign a lease. They're going to have to pass a background check and also a credit check, just like any other apartment. And the residents will add to the quality of life in this area. The area was designed to be a drive-in for a suburban lifestyle. And this development will make that area more walkable. More people means more eyes on the streets and improved public safety. And I'm looking forward to watching this area come back to life.
Councilor Grout, thank you for that. I want to speak a little bit to the logistics of what happens to make a project like this actually come to fruition like today. And it wouldn't be available or even able to do if we didn't have the support of councilors who pushed through legislation to look at the zoning changes that had to be done, right? The ability to be able to do kitchenettes in our units and make things work a little faster. So my hat's off to one of our main champions here, Council Feeblecorn, I'm sorry. No, Councilor Feeblecorn, thank you on behalf of all of us, because without those changes and that advocacy, we can't get to these places. We know government can move slowly, and this is an example of, through partnership with council, the sponsorships, getting those changes made that at a lightning fast speed for government, we turned this around in just over a year. That is hard. Again, I said we acquired this in April of 23. Here we are in May, and units with availability for people to move in June. That is really fast for government work. And again, Feeblecorn, Councilor Feeblecorn, thank you, because that legislation is huge. Those zoning changes allow us to be able to move these things forward. All right, with that being said then, I also want to introduce, Councilor Grout mentioned, you can't make a project like this happen. We're not in the business of actually running these facilities, right? We have to have our partners in play to be able to do this. And without our team that looks at the funding, as well as the individuals who do the screening. It takes a lot. I'm very proud to be able to introduce my own Deputy Director, Joseph Montoya, who has been a value add not only to our department but to the city, being able to bring the funding together, his team working on the project and actually getting this executed. I've had the privilege of meeting weekly with the team, getting the updates on all the hurdles that have to go through to get to this point. And so with that being said, I want to allow my Deputy Director, Joseph Montoya, to speak to you all a little bit around that work and what we're able to accomplish. Joseph.
All right. Big applause, big applause. So first of all, really I have to say it's the folks that really do the work that we need to be able to appreciate and give thanks to today. First of all, within the city of Albuquerque, Pat Montoya started this. Raise your hands, Pat, right? And we have Jennifer, who has now taken over his job, the head of DMD, so we want to thank them as the department directors to be able to oversee this kind of municipal development. And in addition, on their staff, we have Stacy Herrera and Javier. I know Javier is here. I didn't see Stacy here, so raise your hands. And then on my staff, on the Housing and Homeless HHS department, Rick, I want you to raise your hand and say thank you for all the work. You've been keeping this stuff going and making sure that we have good project management and making sure all the nuts and bolts is taken care of. And every time we had an issue like roofing material not coming in on time and our abilities to get manufacturing products to us in time, working closely with the contractors, we overcome those hurdles and are coming on time and under budget. And I do want to say, if you include the money we both spent on acquiring this and the money we spent rehabbing this, it's still an incredibly good deal for the citizens of Albuquerque, right? We're about $130 a unit, $130,000 a unit, which is half the price that you're going to do for new construction, or even less than. So this is an incredibly good deal for the citizens and the taxpayers of the city of Albuquerque. We also wanted to mention that this project, we're trying to be able to be a lot more integrative in terms of what our departments do. So not only is there coordination with those folks who are building, but also on the human services side, we're going to have an on-site services coordinator. So those folks who need assistance in providing services to them will be having somebody on-site to be able to assist in providing those services. So the way that we want to move our new developments is to make sure that those people who need the services the most have access to those services most, and being able to, if they want to, eventually buy a home in terms of our rentals, or be able to move on to a different area if they wish, or be able to just assistance with their families. And so this is a really important component of what we're attempting to do. We hope to do a lot more of these, assuming that we have more funds appropriated to us for this purpose. We think this is a very successful way of being able to accomplish this. I also want to thank the Department of Housing and Urban Development, who provided some pass-through fundings through the state of New Mexico to us. So not only the governor's office assisted in purchasing this, but also the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And I think with that, you're tired of hearing from me, so I'll let that go. Thank you.
Joseph, thank you. And again, I'll reiterate, you know, the mayor talks about One Albuquerque. This took a lot of cross work on multiple departments to make it happen, so I appreciate the recognition there. We can't get this work done without doing that collaborative work. And so again, thank you. Lastly, we mentioned Councilor Grout mentioned the criteria and the management of this property and being able to screen folks to be able, and you see the sign outside now leasing, that number is available for folks who have interest in actually any of these units as they become available. And so with that, I would be remiss to not introduce Monarch Properties, Jerry Burkholder, to speak a little bit about that process and just the partnership overall from Monarch.
Thank you all. I'm happy that we can be here today. Monarch has been working with the city of Albuquerque since 2001 in housing and in particular affordable housing. And we're very pleased to be a part of this project. We think that it's a nice step in a good direction for providing affordable housing for those that need it. And I think we're happy with the way the project has turned out so far. It's been a nice job. We've been involved in some of these conversions in the past, and they haven't always worked well. The city of Albuquerque is an excellent partner, and I think Monarch has been a good partner with them as well. So we're just very happy. We do have a stringent screening criteria that we use on all of our properties that we manage, and we will treat this property in the same manner. Our aim is to provide a safe and comfortable place for people to be able to come to and enjoy as their home. And I want to recognize Vanessa Pino and her staff. They've worked hard getting everything ready, and I appreciate that. And we're excited to move forward. Thank you.
Jerry, thank you, and thank you, Monarch. So with that, we're kind of coming to the end. What we would say is perhaps in the fall, we have a little open house when all the units are occupied, and we bring everyone back to really see how this property is flourishing. We do want to kind of pivot now internally to the facility to allow folks to walk through the units and tour them, and as they're touring, to be able to ask the questions that you have on the units as we're walking
We'll
through.
take a few questions now if you guys have any, but we will show you a couple of units. So while everyone's still stationary and mics are still here. Pool will be open midsummer.
Yes.
So we are keeping the pool. There was a pool that came with this property. We just needed to do a little bit of renovation to it, but pool will be open when the rest of the units are open. Does anyone have questions right now?
The mayor, you said that this is going to be around 700 to 900 compared to the market rate. What is the current market rate right now here in Albuquerque?
Thank you for asking the question. This is almost, not quite, but half the total market rate for comparable units. So we're seeing anywhere from $1,100 to $1,400 a month. So this is substantially below market rate. It's geared to people of 80% of median income, and then we have other processes to be able to get folks to be able to pay to have folks at lower income levels.
Will that be the lowest 700 or?
It won't necessarily be the lowest that some people pay, but that'll be the lowest rental. Yes.
Thank you.
With that, we do want to allow folks to take questions while we walk through the facility units, and so we're going to go ahead and pull folks inside to tour it and kind of look at that from there, okay? All right, thank you all. Appreciate it.